Hey everybody, welcome back to this Extreme Warfare Revenge playthrough. My name is Andy, the Commentator. This is episode, I don't know, I really should check what episode it is before I hit the red button. Anyway, that's not important. What is important is what we're going to do in this episode. So, in this episode we're going to be doing, I'm going to try and stick to my guns and do 2 shows. So, as you can see there, we're up to the 14th of June. So, in this video, we're going to be booking the Go Home show for Mystery Vortex and then the actual Mystery Vortex event itself. So just a quick recap of what we did in the last episode. We're basically, in the last video, we basically set the groundwork, set the table for what's going to happen at Mystery Vortex. In terms of that event, I've got one match I've not really built up yet, and then another match that doesn't really need any build, which we'll get to in a second. But I think the card is coming together quite nicely. So without rabbiting on any further, let's do what I've just said basically. So let's do the Go Home show and then the show itself. Now, I'm recording this on the 3rd of June. It's only 2 days after I recorded the last video. The reason for that is, if anyone cares, I'm going on holiday later this month, so I want to try and get ahead of myself a little bit just while that is happening. So that's why I'm recording it a little bit early. Nothing interesting there. So we need to get to next Thursday, the 19th, is it? I haven't worked it out. I don't think it's quite that early. To do the Go Home show, the Go Home episode of Warfare, and then the show, it's Mystery Vortex, the big June event. Now I will, we'll go through the card in full when we get to the once we've got the Go Home show out of the way, and just give you a quick rundown. If you've not been following this series, give you a quick rundown of all the storylines and the build going into each match. I think it's another card that has come together quite nicely, which is good. Anything interesting happening here? No. Sunday, normally the other promotions are big events on Sunday. We have ours on Saturday to try and avoid clashing with them. And I just think Saturday's a better day for a big wrestling show, to be honest with you. Most people have work Monday morning, whereas a lot less people have work Sunday morning. So I think it's a better, even if it's just for that reason. And I always advocate having big shows on Saturday. Anyway, 20th of June. So I was nearly right. I'm really tempted to do 3 shows in this video. Do the follow-up show, the Fallout show, if you like, for Mystery Vortex, but we'll not bother. But anyway, yeah, let's do this Go Home show then. There's nothing really to recap at the minute. I've not done anything between recording the last video and this one, so we can just get straight into it. With any luck, this is one of the shorter episodes of the series. Okay then, so this Go Home show, so we're going to kick things off with a match, which is rare for me. We're not going to do the 20-minute promo. And it's going to be a guy that we signed in the last video, a guy that we didn't want to sign. But because the game was not working for some reason, we ended up bringing this guy in. So it's going to be the Godfather, who so far is 0 for 2 in PWG, if we're keeping a record of the rankings, or a record of everyone's record. He's going to be taking on Mark Andrews, so one half of a tag team. And this time he isn't going to lose. What he is going to do is, this match is going to finish in a draw, and it's going to be another match ruined by a member of the Glory Days. This time it's going to be, should we go Kevin Sullivan? Have we got Backlund? Let's have a look. No, Kevin Sullivan. No, not Kevin Sullivan. It's going to be... We'll go for the Warlord this time, I think. Now, this isn't... Now, there is... I don't want to give too much away. No Aftermath. Now, without wanting to give too much away... Actually, can we do... No, yeah, we'll just go No Aftermath. This isn't... Now, a lot of the Glory Days matches have been ruined by the Glory Days have just kind of been a little bit random. There is a point to that running, which we'll get to later on. I've got something in mind. Again, without wanting to give too much away. And of course, we don't want to give too many matches away on our free TV, so we're going to book next an angle. It's going to be an authority angle. And it's going to be a booking of a match tonight. Let me just make a note of something, sorry. There we go. Right, not on the notepad on the screen. Just I've got a... Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, so it's going to be Super Dragon. And he's going to book Trey Miguel against Josh Barnett. And the reason for that is, so Josh Barnett, it's basically just to warm Josh Barnett up for his, I mean, I'm kind of jobbing, I'm kind of putting, you know, Trey Miguel is a geek, if you quote Brian Alvarez, but, well, he uses geek, he doesn't put less than about Trey Miguel, but anyway, yeah, so, he's just basically saying, like, yeah, it's just basically a warm-up for the big match that's coming up at Mystery Vortex. Speaking of a big match that's coming up at Mystery Vortex, we're going to do another angle. This time it's going to be a video package. Oh, it's an easy way to build a matchup. So, hype video for upcoming one-on-one match. It's going to be the women's title match. So, Tennille Dashwood, who's quite familiar with video packages, and Deonna Purrazzo. So, that's building that matchup. Right, and then the only match I haven't really built up for Mystery Vortex is the tag title match. I think hopefully I mentioned this in a previous video if anyone's been following the entire series, which hopefully a few of you have. The Mexi Blood beat Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster at the last big event, Bask in His Glory, and that was an unofficial #1 contenders match, so they are getting a tag title match at Mystery Vortex. So we're going to do a little build up to that match. It's going to be 2-on-2 angle. And it's going to be a table attack. It's not going to be a table match, but we're going to do a table attack. And it's going to be the Powers of Pain, so the Barbarian and the Warlord, against Flamita and Bandido. Every time I've got to use Flamita, even though he's supposed to be touring with Toriyomi, I don't know how you say it. He's been available, so I don't actually know when they tour, but thankfully he's always been available, which is useful. I'm going to check that actually when they're available. Yeah, so Barbarian and Warlord beating up Mexi Blood. Again, that's building up to that match. That's all the purpose of that. So that's enough to build that matchup. Right. So let's get another match out of the way. It's going to be the match that's just been booked. So it's going to be Josh Barnett taking on Trey Miguel, and this is going to be a submission match, which I should have booked there. There we go. Yeah, so Josh Barnett. Yeah, so this is again just basically to warm Josh Barnett up for his match with Eli Drake, which is going to be a no rope. Obviously, I can't book this, but it would be if I could book no rope steel cage match, I would. I'll have to just put it as a steel cage match. Obviously, Josh Barnett wins cleanly. No aftermath, and then to build up because Eli Drake is suspended. We can't do some kind of post-match schmoz, which is probably a good thing because knowing me, I would book it if I could. Right, 3 segments to go for the 3 big matches. So we're going to have another angle, and it's going to be building up to the Mickie James Asuka match. No, is this under 2-on-2? Is it? Yeah, running for quick save. It's my supermarket. Other supermarkets are available. I don't know if it still is, actually. Anyway, move on. Okay, so running is going to be Mia Yim, saving Mickie James from Asuka and Io Shirai. Not Orange Cassidy, Io Shirai. Now, that's a repeat of a previous angle. So when I was building up to... I can't remember what match it was building up to, but this is a callback to what happened before. So I think it was when Mickie James returned, actually, after a quote-unquote dream match at All-Star Weekend. We thought Mickie James was gone. Io Shirai and Asuka attacked Mia Yim, or were going to attack Mia Yim, and Mickie James ran in and sort of fought them off before they could. So that's hopefully people remember that, and it's sort of a reverse of that. It's Mia Yim returning the favour as they build up to that singles match. Now, Io Shirai, incidentally, and I didn't mention this in the last video, but she would have been, the last episode of Warfare, she wouldn't have been available. She was touring with New Japan, so that's why we didn't book her there. But yeah, so she's back now. I'm actually going to have, for once, we're actually going to have 4 matches on this show, so not 3. We're going to have 4. So a bit of a double main event here, so it's going to be, even though he's not requested it, it's a dream match for Shad Gaspard, but maybe not for Keith Lee. It's going to be Keith Lee taking on Kevin Sullivan. a lot of the glory days on this show. And it's going to be Keith Lee winning. Because of course it is. And we'll say botched interference by Bob Backlund. And the only reason I'm doing that is because because of the aftermath I want to do. So Keith Lee fights both off. So that's building up to the handicap match. So that's kind of just showing that Keith Lee can take them both on at the same time. So again, building up to that handicap match. So build up to a future match. And then the last segment is going to be a rematch from a previous big event. I can't remember which one it was now. I think it might have been the last one, actually. But it's going to be Orange Cassidy taking on Timothy Thatcher. Orange Cassidy preparing for a world title shot. So no, it's going to be a straight one-on-one, no interference. Orange Cassidy's going to get the win. But then there's going to be an aftermath. So Congo Kong. It's going to be a failed run-in. So again, making Orange Cassidy look strong as he looks for this title shot. Build up to a future match. So for once, we're actually having 4 matches on the show instead of just 3. Which makes a nice change. Right, so that's the go-home show for Mystery Vortex. There's the Baskin's Glory then. Baskin's Vortex. Now, we know about the Godfather's gimmick, but we'll sort that out at a later date. The company's not... Apparently, the risk's not high enough to make pimp gimmicks work. So, there we go. That's why that keeps flashing up. That could have been better, but hey-ho. Good. Video packages working their magic. That could have been better, and it wasn't. Spike powerbombed through a table. I bet that didn't tickle. Yep, decent match. Obviously, little crowd reaction because Trey Miguel's not very over. Fair enough. That was not as... I was hoping that would be slightly better. And that was decent. I mean, to be fair, the overall rate of this show is going to be one of the lowest. Yeah, 61. That isn't great, to be honest with you. In fact, if it was for that video package, we really would be... really would be in trouble. Let's see. How bad was that, actually? What's our worst show? Oh, 56. Our first ever one got 56, so that's good. I like it when the first show's the worst one. It's like the only way is up, baby, from there, isn't it? Really, but I mean, that wasn't one of our best. But hey ho, we've done it now. It's in the books. The TV rating maybe reflected that 1.64. Kevin Sullivan wants to work with the Godfather. And Josh Bryant, I think, should be hyped the card. He probably should be Josh, to be honest with you, but we'll not worry too much about that. Right, so tomorrow we're going to do Mystery Vortex. But before then, I need to make another signing out. Sometimes I'll make signings off camera to try and sort of make it a surprise for the wonderful viewers out there. But on this occasion, I'm gonna do the signing on camera. Drugs Bunny. It's not going to be Drugs Bunny, which is a shame. But it's going to be Drew Gulak, which could inspire some unsavory comments, but we're not going to worry about any of that. This is a fictitious world, so I'll give him a 2-year written contract. I still want him to be a babyface on this occasion. So Drew Gulak, see it now. Has this worked? Because when I tried to sign PCO in the last video, he didn't then appear on the roster. Will this work for Drew Gulak? Is he here? Hey, there he is. Whoop, there he is. Right. So we're going to change his gimmick from obnoxious, because it's not really a babyface gimmick. I'm going to give him a lackey gimmick. And again, there's a reason for that, which will become clear shortly. Right, so Drew Gulak is in. And it's now time for... We're only 15 minutes in, and we're already at the pay-per-view. I'm really tempted to do the next show, actually. I might do it, you know. The last time I did 3 shows a video, the video was about nearly an hour long. Whereas this one, because I'm kind of just cracking on with it, it might not be too long. So I might do 3 shows, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Right, Mystery Vortex time. So let's quickly run down the card that's going to be on offer. So we've got a prelim match that's not really had any build-up, so we'll not worry too much about that one. But the actual event itself, so Keith Lee taking on the Glory Days, a handicap match. Obviously, Keith Lee waging war against the Glory Days, who keep running in and spoiling everything. They're basically threatening to ruin the promotion, and Keith Lee The returning hero says no, not on my watch. So that's the carrying on with that storyline. Women's title match, Tenille Dashwood versus Deonna Purrazzo. Then we've got a tag team title match, so Mexi Blood challenging the Powers of Pain. Oh, actually, that reminds me, actually. Too many actuallys. Just want to check. Toru Yumon. Yeah, so 23rd of July. So actually, they will actually be doing a little bit of touring in July. So Flamita is going to be unavailable for a little while. Okay, that's fine then. So he's basically going to miss one show this year, or 2 shows this year, October and July. So that's fair enough. Cool, that's fine. Right, yeah. Then it's going to be Eli Drake returning from his suspension to take on Josh Barnett in a no rope steel cage match. Also, that match will be, again, if this were real, I'd be saying that match can only end via pinfall or submission, so no escape, which is, again, why Trey Miguel, when we did the submission match with Trey Miguel, etc. In fact, I could set it to it has to end by submission. But I can't do any of that. That's what if this were real, that's what we'd book. Then we've got Asuka taking on Mickie James in a singles match, obviously continuing the kind of Asuka, Io Shirai, Mickie James, Mia Yim feud, which is kind of going on forever, but not really sure what they're feuding over, but I'm quite enjoying booking it. And then we've got the world title match, Orange Cassidy taking on Congo Kong. So I think that's a good card. I think it's come together quite nicely. I think all the build's been fairly good, if I do say so myself. So, Mystery Vortex 8, let's go. Kicking things off with the pre-show. It's actually going to be a match. And it's going to be Flash Morgan Webster taking on The Godfather. So in the last show, obviously, it was The Godfather took on Mark Andrews. He's now going to take on his tag team partner. And this time we are going to have a finish. It's going to be the Flash Morgan Webster winning. And it's going to be Mandrews running in. I think there might be a bit too much interference on this show, but hey-ho. We have hired Vince Russo as one of the writers, so we might as well book like him. No Aftermath. And then... what should we do in Aftermath? Yeah, it's good. We'll do an Aftermath. We're going to have a save, and it's going to be Kushida. Running for the save. Kushida, and that builds up to a future match. So Kushida and the Godfather, the tag team you never knew you needed. We need a team name for that, for them. What could they be called? Pin Time? I don't know. Something like that. Back to... no, I don't know. Anyway, move on. Right. So, now the main show itself. So we're going to kick things off with the handicap match between the Glory Days and Keith Lee. So, yeah, 1 on 2. So Keith Lee, whoop whoop, taking on Bob Backlund, who I didn't want to wrestle, but hey ho, and Kevin Sullivan, who is only here because, well, Hardcore Holly retired, I was going to sign him. Then Lance Storm went to Impact, I was going to sign him. And then Rick Steiner ended up in rehab. But apart from that, we've hired everyone we wanted to for this storyline. Okay, so Kevin Sullivan is... well, actually, we'll give Backlund the pin. So Backlund is going to win. So sorry, Keith Lee. And he's going to win because Drew Gulak... and then this is what we're saying about interference. Drew Gulak is going to botch an interference. So, yeah. So that's the point of Drew Gulak. So Drew Gulak's going to return, try and save Keith Lee. And basically cost him the match. So... we'll talk about Drew Gulak in a second. There is a reason why I've signed him in particular for this this particular storyline. Okay, so the curious match coming up next. So it's going to be the women's title match. It's going to be Tenille Dashwood taking on Deonna Purrazzo for the women's title. And this match is going to be a draw, and it's going to be no contest or interference, and it's going to be Katarina that's going to run in. And again, that will get explained further down the line. I don't know if I'm doing too much interference here, but hey ho, we're coming like AEW and book about 5 returns on every pay-per-view. But again, that's up to them. Not a criticism, not a praise. It's just an observation. Like, Katrin doesn't destroy everyone. There's no aftermath, and it was built up to a future match potentially. But again, we'll worry about that in a second. Right. So now we're gonna do an angle, and it's gonna be 2 partners hanging out, but not really 2 partners hanging out. I just don't really know. Actually, no, I think we'll do a heated confrontation. That's what we'll do. Confrontation. So Keith Lee and Drew Gulak. So basically what's going to happen in this segment would be Keith Lee would like say to Keith Lee like grab Drew Gulak, like push him against the, like round the collar, push him against the wall, say what the hell were you doing? I had that match won. I could beat them on my own, blah blah blah. I don't need your help. And then Drew Gulak's like, well, it's I've been watching from afar. That they always play the numbers game. There's always somebody ready to run in. I just wanted to try and help. I just wanted to win with the numbers. I hate what they're doing to this company. I mean, the reason why I re-signed Drew Gulak is because he used to work for PWG. So I wouldn't say he's a PWG original, but that's who he did used to work for. So again, Drew Gulak can basically in this segment basically say, well, I hate what they're doing to my company. I want to help you. Let me help you. Blah blah blah. And then Keith Lee would say, look, I don't need your help. I can take these down on my own. I don't need your help. Blah blah. And then Keith Lee storms off. And then Drew Gulak could say something after Keith Lee stormed off, like, I'll show him. I'll prove my worth, so to speak. I think because he's a heel as well, or he has been a heel, there may be a little bit of sort of grey area of did he really mean to help Keith Lee, or is he actually working against him? But yeah, so that would hopefully come across. But yeah, so the point of that is, Drew Gulak's sorry, Keith Lee's annoyed with him, and he'll make it up to him. If that makes any sense. Right, so now the tag team titles are on the line. It's going to be Mexi Blood, Bandido, and Flamita even, challenging the Powers of Pain, the Warlord, and the Barbarian, who of course are members of the Glory Days. So the tag titles are on the line, and we're going to have new champions. Finally, we're finally going to take the belts off the Powers of Pain. Now I've done this, I might fire the Warlord and rehire him as a wrestler, because obviously he became a non-wrestler, which I don't really want him to be. So I may sort that out after this show at some point. I think it will be useful to have him as a wrestler again, especially if he's one half of a tag team. So obviously I didn't want to fire him while he had the belts, because then it would ruin the title history. Anywho, so Bandido is going to pin the Barbarian. In fact, he'll pin the Warlord. Why not? Does it matter? Probably not. And we're going to have yet more interference, but this time it's going to be Drew Gulak. So Drew Gulak is going to make it up to... Again, this is his basically way to make it up to Keith Lee. Unfortunately, it means I've used Drew Gulak 3 times on this show, so we will get the message of you overused Drew Gulak, and the fans got sick of seeing him. But I think it's a one-off and on a debut. Again, the subtitle of this series, it doesn't matter too much. So we'll say Mexi Blood celebrate because they finally got the belts off the Glory Days. Yeah, put in a good match. Why not? If you can put in a good match with the Powers of Pain. To be fair, the tag matches are pretty good. So so there we go. Right, another angle, and then just matches then. So it's going to be another angle. Work arrives at the building, and it's going to be Eli Drake, who of course has been suspended for a few weeks. But he's back now, and he's back to try and earn his job back in the no-rope steel cage match. The one-on-one cage. So Eli Drake versus Josh Barnett. No title on the line. Eli Drake wins. He wins cleanly. No aftermath. And it's actually build up to a future match. So, of course, the Super Dragon booked this match. The stipulation, if Eli Drake wins, he gets his job back. If Josh Barnett wins, then he gets a title shot. That was the point of that. And, of course, it was the no rope steel cage submissions only match. 3 gimmicks in one, why not? So Eli Drake wins, gets his job back. Right, just the 2 more big matches to go. So we're going to have Asuka taking on Mickie James in a singles match. Hopefully better than the match on Raw they had once when... I'm sure they had a match on Raw once where Mickie either forgot to kick out or kicked out and the ref still counted to 3 or something, and she did shrug emoji to the referee like, what the hell are you doing? But yeah, hopefully she won't kick. Hopefully she won't kick out here because she's losing, despite the fact he just said Mickie James wins. So Asuka wins, and again more interference from Io to keep this feud going. I'm not sure whether this is a good idea or not, to be honest with you, because my idea for Asuka was to build up as some kind of like unstoppable killer, so. A bit like a female Brock Lesnar, if you like, when he was with Heyman. But I suppose, to be fair, even during that run, Lesnar did have wins where he had a bit of help at times. Heyman helped him out a little bit. So Mia Yim then runs in for the save to keep the feud going. We do need to develop this feud, though, I think, a little bit. It's starting to get a little bit repetitive. But with Asuka being a non-wrestler, which I think has actually worked out quite well, that the fact she can't wrestle on Warfare, hopefully makes her matches feel a bit more special. That's kind of the point, anyway. We'll say to put in a good match. So, yeah, Io Shirai runs in. Mia Yim runs in for the save. That's fine. Again, it seems like meaningless interference, but it's actually not. There is a point to that. Okay, just the main event to go for the world title. Orange Cassidy been on a real roll for the last few months. Retired Ric Flair, beat Timothy Thatcher, lost to Kevin Nash because Timothy Thatcher ran in. But he's earned this title shot. Will he win the belt? That's the question. So Orange Cassidy versus Congo Kong, who's been champion for quite a long time now. World title on the line. And I'm sorry, but it's going to be another... we're going to end with another heel victory. Congo Kong is going to retain. He's going to cheat, though. No interference this time, but he's going to cheat. He'll kick him in the nuts or something. I don't know. No aftermath. And no purpose. Right. That's Mystery Vortex. Let's hope it's good. Can we break the 70% barrier for show quality? I think the first match... Well... The first couple of matches are going to make it difficult to do that, but let's see. Fingers crossed. Let's do this. Yeah, see, 43%. It's going to be difficult to break 70% when your first segment's 43, but okay. I mean, that was never going to be good, to be fair, but not a problem. Drew Gulak debut. I mean, to be fair, we're not going to do it anyway because we've got that annoying overall rating lower than the crowd reaction match quality thing, so we wouldn't break it anyway, even without what just happened then, even without that dreadful first match. Okay, that's good. Got a positive response of being a lackey. So again, the point of the lackey, that was good. The point of the lackey gimmick was to basically, like, he's trying to help Keith Lee out. It's essentially like he's unofficially become his lackey, even though Keith Lee doesn't want a lackey, if that makes sense. Yep, they get annoyed. Yep, that's fine. Good. See, despite the fact their stats are terrible, they're actually quite good in tag teams, which is again why I'm going to put the Wall on back as a wrestler. I think, just because they don't have bad matches when they're actually wrestle as a team. Good. Eli Drake walking backstage, of course. I was hoping that was going to be a little bit better, but oh well. I've noticed on this game, cage matches tend not to get very good ratings. I don't quite know why. I think it's maybe I think for you need people that specialise in brawling, I think, maybe to get good matches. I don't know. Cool, that was fine. That was fun. Oh, that was a good match. That was a really good match. 63%, bit harsh, deserve better than that. But of course we got that ridiculous overall calculation. If we just tick over to the 30-minute mark in the video, let's see what delights we get. So yeah, we know. Yeah, well, you didn't need me to tell you that. What's to work with the bat? So what's to work with? Is it Kevin Sullivan as well as the Barbarian? So he wants to work with the Glory Days, and why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you, Charles? Yep, you probably should be. You probably should be as well. Yeah, we knew that was coming. 2,261 people. That's not bad. Fair enough. So Drew Gulak. Let's just have a quick look at Drew Gulak. I think when you get that message about overness, you only lose 1 point, so it's not the end of the world. And I think when we signed him, his overness was 63, so it's 65. So that's okay. Right, despite what I said at the start of this video, I am going to do the next show. I'm going to try and get it done quickly, because I want to try and get this video under 40 minutes if I can. Fighter Fest, that's fine. So we'll skip on to the next show. Yep, none of this is interesting. Come on, we just don't win any injuries. That's all I'm asking. No injuries. Ooh, been some signings. Let's have a look. Yes, if I'd got rid of the Warlord, then it would have said vacant. Which obviously I didn't want to happen. So yeah, that's why I didn't know. But I'll sort that out off camera if you like. This is a live show. Right, anything interesting here? Let's have a look. So Scott Dawson, Dash Wilder's still unemployed on this game. Scott Dawson's got employed by 3 companies and a Japanese promotion, so he's actually employed by 4 companies, and no one's hired Dash Wilder. So quite fun. Francis Taylor, not sure that is. To be honest with you, Kalisto and Hechicero, who's absolutely awesome. I have to say, I'd never seen Hechicero before he turned up on AEW, but the little bits I've seen of him on AEW, absolutely fantastic. Really, really good. In fact, if he wasn't signed on here by MLW, well, I'd see him. Yeah, if I could sign him, I would, because absolutely brilliant on AEW. I think he's been phenomenal when he's showing up. Okay, right. Can we get this show out in less than 7 minutes? Let's see. Let's go. Right, so the fallout from the Mystery Vortex. So, it's going to be... So we're going to kick things off with an angle. And it's going to be a... I'm doing something. I'm tempted to not book this show and actually do what I said. Yeah, you know what? Screw it. We're not going to book this show. We've got to it. No. I'm going to change my mind. I'm not going to book it. I know that was a bit weird and a bit random and a bit of a weird, silly way to end the video, but yeah, I'm not going to book this show. So yeah, we'll pick it up. We'll pick it up in a new video. We'll pick it up in a new video. Yeah, why not? Yeah, we'll end with the big event. We're not going to book it. So yeah, that's in this video basically. Yeah, so we've got two shows done. So we've got June's big event out the way. Mystery Vortex, got new tag team champions. We've progressed a couple of feuds. Congo Kong's title reigns really becoming reasonably long now, so that's good. I developed the Glory Days storyline, hopefully with Keith Lee. We brought Drew Gulak into it, so we'll see what develops from there. So yeah, so I'm gonna call it there actually. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, then please like and share the video. You can also leave a comment on the video should you choose to do that. If you're enjoying this series, then please put some booking suggestions in the comments. I'd be interested to read those. I'm trying to book alongside real time. Now I've managed to get caught up. So hopefully I'll have a chance to implement if anyone suggests anything, I'll have a chance to implement it before at some point if I think it's a good idea. If anyone's really taken this, really got into this series, then that'd be fantastic. If you've missed any of the series apart from one video, it'll be on YouTube and in a playlist, as I said. Also, if you head over to the channel, The Uncommentator, you'll find the best of videos in this playlist. Have I just said that? I think I have done. You'll also find a myriad of other games I've played through. So this is the only PC game I've got on the channel. So normally I play normal console games. So I've got a lot of classic console games, so Sega Mega Drive / Genesis, PS1, PS2, Super Nintendo, N64, all that good stuff, all on the channel. If you like wrestling, I've done a WWE Crush Hour playthrough, so please go and check that out, if you could call that a wrestling game. But join me next time, we're moving on. We're going to be doing the Fallout from Mystery Vortex, and then we're going to be halfway through the year already, because we're moving into the month of July. But until it's that point, for now from me, it is sayonara.